everyone. You're going to do some work first. You should see some pieces of paper spread around the room on the tables. I want everyone to grab 2 pieces of paper each. No one's allowed to get out of this. I am an editor by day. I'm used to bossing around a team. So everyone grab your piece of paper and get ready to go. So what we're going to do is a lovely sunny day outside. So I thought it'd be good fun if we make some paper snowflakes. Isn't that exciting? So all you have to do is follow exactly what I say. So take your first piece of paper and you're going to fold it over. Everyone stay with me. Fold over the piece of paper. Okay, and now you're going to take that piece of paper and fold it over again. Like so. Everyone keeping up? Yeah? Okay, now let's try and do a rip. So on this side here, the longer side, if we do a little rip here like this. Everyone with me? Yeah? Okay. And then maybe try and do something on this corner here. So the top. Everyone with me? Just about? And then, what the hell, let's try and do one on the other corner as well. So you should have something that looks like this. Okay, let's open it out. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Anyone? Yeah, we're all looking about the same. Okay, cool. Put that to one side. Get your second piece of paper. Now everyone close your eyes. I don't want to see anyone peeking at all. Everyone close your eyes with the piece of paper in your hand. Now I want you to fold that piece of paper over and I want you to turn it around. And I want you to rip one of the corners. And then I want you to fold the piece of paper again, and I want you to rip the corner at the top. Turn the paper around and rip the corner at the bottom. Okay, now you can open your eyes, and let's all see what we've got. Not the most attractive one for me. What have other people got? Okay, yeah, got a different one there. Perfect, one that looks like a cross. Brilliant. Right, so why have I done that? Well, that's to show you that no matter how good you think the direction is that you're following, you never quite know what you're going to end up with. But that does not mean that the thing you end up with is not amazing. So just take that with you, think about that as we go on. So, about me, moving on. Oh, wrong way. Here we go. So, I didn't actually want to be a journalist when I was little. I wanted to be a rock star, a dirty, greasy rock star with a guitar. And even so, to the point that I told my careers advisor I didn't need a backup plan, this is what I was going to do. Unfortunately, as is quite apparent now, I didn't quite make it as the rock star. And when it became apparent after gigging in some pretty dodgy places, I realised I needed a plan. I needed to go and do something else. I knew I loved words from writing songs. Words were something that I was always passionate about. But what could I do with it? I needed some serious time to sit and think about it. But I didn't do that. Instead, I bought myself a plane ticket and I went to Toronto. Got myself a visa so I could go and work there for a year. And thought, yeah, this is cool. I don't need to be a rock star. I'm just going to kind of lounge around here in another country. I got a job, because you kind of need one to exist somewhere. I got a job in a bookstore. And I remember one particular day, it was the release of one of the new Harry Potter books. Very exciting. I don't know if anyone ever went to one of those. We had them arrive covered in black plastic. We had 2 security guards so that no one could open them before it was ready. And the crowds that lined up to get this at midnight, it was mental. And I remember being there and thinking, why can't I do this? Why can't I make people so desperate to read my words? I have to do it. So I looked in one of the newspapers in the city and they were looking for interns, and I applied to be an intern. And miraculously, I got it. Now, being an intern is not the most glamorous way to start. I was unpaid and I couldn't afford to not have a job as well. My job mainly consisted of fact-checking, researching stories so that other journalists could go and write them. I gave up weekends to do this. making cups of tea, that sort of thing. And I had to pay my own way to get into this internship. When I got into work in the morning, when I finished, I started at 9, finished at 5, and then I couldn't afford to pay for the underground to take me to my job in the evening, so I had to walk. It took an hour and a half to walk from one side of the city to the other to go work in my bookstore, and I worked there till midnight. And I did that 5 days a week just so I could get this experience. But the whole time I was doing that, in my free time, what little of it there was, I was thinking, I've got to pitch, I've got to pitch. Finally, I came up with an idea. There was an event going on in Toronto called Critical Mass, which was a mass protest where cyclists stormed the city to try and encourage more people to use their bikes. But I didn't care about that one. I found about another event called Critical Ass. You may notice the people here are naked. So I pitched it to the editor. He was kind of intrigued. They all got arrested, and I got a really great story. So it just goes to show it's worth it. So, fueled on by this, I thought, right, where can I go now? My visa's running out. Went to Australia, got a great taste in hats, as you can see. And I got a job on a backpacker magazine. And while I was on this magazine, suddenly I got sent somewhere. I got sent skydiving, and I was getting paid to go skydiving. And then I got sent bungee jumping, and I was getting paid to do that. I was getting paid to travel and write about it. I thought, I'm onto something, I'm living the dream. But then something really interesting happened. I went on an assignment to go and sleep in a swag bag, which is a bit like a body bag for your sleeping bag, in the middle of the Red Centre. Now, I don't know how many of you have been to Australia, but in Australia, everything is out to kill you. From snakes to spiders, and even the ants. They even had ants there that if they bit you enough, you would die. And I lay there watching this amazing light show on the Red Rocks, watching the stars come out, and thought, I've never bothered to explore or do this at home. How can I do this here? What can I do? So, when my visa ran out there and I went back home, I had to get another job. What job did I get? Just one on a newspaper. And so I still wanted to have these kind of adventures that I'd had on the job there. And the only one way I could think to do that, I didn't have very much money, I'd been backpacking and having a good time, was to do it on foot. And how could I make the most of the time? I had to do it in the 5 to 9 hours when I wasn't at my full-time job. So I had to squeeze the adventure in, and that's what I did. I started to explore my own country until the day I decided I want to go and try and do a solo wild camp, which a wild camp, if you don't know, is camping away from a campsite, no showers or toilets or anything like that, being completely self-sufficient. What could go wrong, I thought? Well, apparently everything can go wrong. This didn't actually happen, but I was told this would happen to me if I went on my own into North Wales. Very big bear population there. What could go wrong? So people told me I'd be mugged, I'd be eaten by a bear. I wasn't, but I'm not going to lie to you, it wasn't a complete success. I got sunburnt, I got eaten alive by midges, I got a tick on me. It wasn't a huge success story, but needless to say, I did it. I survived it. And I remember sitting in the car when I'd finished and catching sight of myself in the rearview mirror, and I was sweaty and bright red and covered with bites. But there was a cataclysmic shift inside me. I had all this confidence now because I decided to do something and I'd seen it through. And that confidence fed into my everyday life. So the things I was doing in my 5 to 9 hours fed into my 9 to 5 hours. I started applying to freelance to newspapers and magazines. I got articles in The Guardian, in Lonely Planet, all these kind of things that I desperately wanted to do. And then finally, the day came when my dream job came up, which was the editor of Wanderlust, and I got it. And so what do I do now? Well, now I still kind of lead this double life, as I always have done, right back from when I was an intern to now. By day, in my 9 to 5, I'm the editor of Wanderlust, which means I sort of pull together a team of writers and production team, and I get to go and travel and go to glamorous events like this, where I met Prince Philip. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, it's because he just said to me, "What's the name of your magazine?" I said Wanderlust, and he said, "Good God, it's not a German magazine, is it?" That's the story behind that. And then in my 5 to 9 hours, I get out there, I explore, I squeeze all the adventure I can into my days. And I've actually written 7 books. since 2012. That's right, I have a full-time 9-to-5 job that's very, very busy, and I also write books as well, trying to encourage all of you guys to go and squeeze all the adventure you can into your working life. So the things I'd say to you is that there's always reasons why we don't do what we really want to do. There's not enough time. It's always too hard. There's a lot of competition about. But the thing I would say to you is, don't waste your energy worrying about what other people are doing. And don't waste your time telling people that you have no time when you actually do have time. Because the one thing that you should take from what everyone said here today is that the main difference between the people who are doing what they love as their everyday job and the ones who aren't is that the ones that do it, they never gave up on that dream, and you really never should give up on yours. So what would I say? I'd say seize the moment. Consider what you're doing with any free time that you get. I can do it, you can do it. And ask yourself, what am I doing with that time? Am I making the most of it? Or am I complaining that my life, much like the snowflakes I showed you at the beginning, isn't quite the same as mine? So please go away, seize the day, and ask yourself, what are you doing with your 5 to 9? Thank you.